Okay, so first we have Dean Shaoting Alan Huang, who leads the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. We're honored to have you with us, Dean Huang. We are also joined by Jian Jiachen, the section director of the curriculum section at the Language Center. Welcome, Director Jian. Next, we have Lin Zhikai, who serves as the acting division chief of the Student Learning Division in the Office of Bilingual Education Initiatives. We appreciate your presence, Chief Lin. So, Evan, please take it from here.
Thank you, Ellie, for the nice introduction. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome all of you to our session. As Ellie has already introduced, my name is Alan Hong from National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. And sitting together with me are two assistant directors from our Office of Bilingual Education Initiative and Language Center. After my presentation, they're going to take over and share with you their lesson plan on the writing task. Okay. All right. So first of all, in the following 30 minutes presentation, what we are planning to do is we're going to cover the following 3 items. The first one is I'm going to take care of the general background to give you like an overview, the holistic picture of our English curriculum, and then followed by 2 examples. And the first example will focus on the process-based writing lesson plan, while the second one will focus more on the outcome-based writing task. Okay. All right. So first of all, I would like to give you a little bit overview of what we have done to reshape our English curriculum at National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. We have been practicing the old curriculum over the years, and we actually identified several problems. And among those problems, 2 are more relevant to today's presentation. So I'm going to talk about the 2 problems that we face. The very first problem that we face is that what we did in the past is that we actually divide students into 2 groups, and the cutting level is B1. Students' level of proficiency, whose level of proficiency is below B1, they are required to take required courses together with elective. And for those students whose level is above B1, they don't have any required courses. They can take any elective, as many as they want. Okay, as long as they fulfill the graduation requirements. Okay, and the problem that we found is that there are like a huge gaps in each classes. For example, like in one class, we have students whose level just reached B1, and we also have students whose level is like above C1. So that makes teaching quite challenging, and our instructors will have some difficulties preparing for their lessons and preparing for their writing task. So what we did is that we came up with a solution. We actually proposed to create 3 course modules for different proficiency groups. And for each modules, we have set the specific course objectives together with assessment schemes, which I'm going to talk a little bit about later. Okay. And the second problem that we face in the old curriculum is we don't really have a very systematic plan for speaking and writing components. And as you know, our university has been chosen as one of the key universities for best projects. And for the best projects, speaking and writings are 2 important indicators because they are the 2 important KPIs. So we feel like there's a must to bring the writing components and speaking components into our curriculum. So we place greater emphasis on the integration as well as the communication skills in our curriculum. So the following, this is the flow charts which shows students' English learning journey that they have to go through. Before they came into our university, they had to take the placement test, and they will be placed into one of the 3 course modules. And then we began this modularized instruction. And at the end of the instruction, we give them the end of the course proficiency test as assessment. And now you may be kind of wondering, like, what exactly we do for each module, and what does each module look like? The following table shows you some details of what we do for each module. For the first module is like a intermediate module. We do have some required courses. It's oral drills in English and English vocabulary and reading. And the learning objective is that we are trying to lay foundations because students tend to be like low achievers in this module. So our learning objectives is to strengthen their grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation skills. So like to improve their reading and listening abilities. And the goal is to bring their listening and reading ability up to B1 level. For the second module, right here in the middle, is the intermediate module. We have a required course for them. It's called Integrated Academic English. The goal is to enhance integration of 4 language skills in academic context. And the ultimate goal is to bring students level up to B2. For this module, we actually use Bestep, the listening and the reading components of Bestep as the end of the semester assessment scheme. For the advanced module right here, the required course is called Global Communication in English. Students who are in these modules have already reached B2 level in CEFR. So the goal is to develop the effective communication skills in global workplace, academic, and professional contexts. And the ultimate goal is to ensure that students in this module reach the B2 level on 4 different skills. And for this module, we also work with Bestep, and we use the speaking components and the writing components of a Bestep, okay, as the assessment plan. In addition to the required courses, we also perform this modularization on our electives. In other words, we also categorize all the elective courses into the 3 modules, as you can see from these PowerPoint slides. For example, like for the lower intermediate module, we have basic English for basic English presentation. For the intermediate module, we have intercultural communication. We have English for science and technology. And for the advanced module, the electives include power of story, business speaking, and discussion on international affairs in English, and also advanced communication in English, global sustainable development issues. So these are all the electives for 3 different modules. So students take those electives according to the module they are in. And in order to prepare students for their future EMI courses, we also developed something quite new. That is something we call like ESAP, English for Specific Academic Purposes courses. As you can see right here, we have so far proposed 4 different ESAP courses. For example, like academic presentations in English for engineering. We have academic reading and writing in information and communication. Okay, so this class are like more focused, and we actually work with content teachers to find out what the needs are, what the students' needs are, and then we try to bring in those needs into our curriculum, with the hope that to help students to bridge student to their future EMI program. All right, and also we have this speaking and writing enhancement program we call SWAP. Okay, this program is actually part of the advanced module. Okay, and students will need to students have a lot of options for improving their speaking and writing skills. For example, they can participate in the SDG English presentation contest. They can have this English TA consultation, and we also have writing workshops. Okay, all right. So this is how we enhance students' speaking and writing skills. All right. So after the brief overview of our English curriculum at Taiwan Tech, now we'd like to turn to 2 specific examples that focus on writing task. The first one is going to be introduced by our Assistant Director, Dr. Lin, and then he's going to talk about the process-based writing task. Okay, so let's welcome Dr. Lin.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so the first one is a process-based writing task. My name is Shikalan from Language Center, NTUST. And in my teaching, I will focus on writing, but it's not very easy to teach writing for freshman English. So I will prepare a lot of writing tasks for students. So for me, I will, because in this module, we use a textbook. So students can learn a lot of information from the textbook, and also they will get some background information. And then I will give them some writing instructions. So within 2 hours, we will do a lot of things. So students will also watch a video, and then they have to take notes. So it's more like integrated, the 4 skills. They have to they have to watch, they have to listen to the video, take notes, because I only play the video once. And they have to take notes, and then I will give them some writing instructions, and they have to write some feedback. Okay. So there are 3 writing tasks in my class. So I will prepare summary, description, compare and contrast for students to improve their writing skills. So first, okay, in a textbook, it's about learning and teaching. So in the unit 7.3, I found one video from YouTube, and I played that in the class. And students have to take notes and write down a lot of things. But for the writing, I will ask them to write down the 5 trends. And this video is talking about 5 trends in learning. And I will give them a very clear instruction, more than 100 words. If we don't tell students how many words they have to write, they usually will write 50 words, but that's not enough. So I will tell them, you have to write more than 100 words. And this is for the first paragraph. And for the second paragraph, it's which one do you like? Okay, and why? They have to tell us why. And for the second paragraph, it should be more than 50 words. And for the third paragraph, which one do you dislike? Okay, you don't like that. And why? And they have to tell me more than 50 words. And then they have to upload their writing to Moodle, that's an online platform, and it should be more than 200 words. And also, I will give students a lot of instructions like how to write a paragraph or an essay. So I will tell them you have to write a topic sentence. I think in high school, students have learned what topic sentence is. But when they are really writing, they will forget. So I will tell them the first sentence should be your topic sentence. And then you have to provide some background information for 2 sentences. Okay, tell them the exact number of sentences, and they will write a lot of things. And also they have to summarize the 5 trends. So trend 1 sentence, trend 2, another sentence. Okay, so for this paragraph, there will be 8 sentences. And I will tell them how to write, for example, the sentence patterns and phrases. I will tell them this video talks about something, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the first sentence. And then some background information. And also they have to tell us the first trend is something, blah, 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 which talks about something. Or the second trend is which discusses something. And also they have to continue the sequence of the events. So they have to use a lot of transitional words. Like I'll just give them, then, next, after that, or after this, afterward, afterwards, subsequently, following, until, second, third, fourth, etc. Secondly, thirdly, fourthly. And students, they can learn that quickly, but we need to give them some template. So I would like to show you an example from my students. This is what one of my students wrote it within 30 minutes. There's no take-home assignments. They have to do that in class usually before 10. So they have to do a lot of things like this. So this is not perfect, of course, so they can follow my rules, okay, and write it down. So my grading policy will be something like, okay, they have to follow my rule. So they have to write, for example, this video talks about the 5 new trends in learning. Okay, this is a topic sentence. And also they have to write the background information. For example, originally we used a more traditional way to teach by using a blackboard and a textbook. But after that, after the start of the pandemic, we started changing the way we learn to more digital ways while quarantine. Okay, this is the background information. And then this started to talk about the 5 trends. The first trend is to learn outside the classroom by using convenient and mobile device. Okay, of course, there are some grammatical errors here, but overall it looks quite nice, for me at least. Okay, but they have to improve. And I will tell them how to improve. So this is their draft. Okay, so this is the first paragraph. And then for the second paragraph, it's about the opinion. Okay, you like or dislike. For the students, he talks about, I like the concept of learning with augmented reality and virtual devices. Okay, this is something he likes. Or something he doesn't like. I don't like the collaborated learning because just by pointing and speaking can make me understand something. Okay, so that's their opinion. Okay. So for the first, this is first writing assignments. So this is about summary. And then in another unit 8.2, in a textbook, there's a diagram in page 89. And I ask students to describe describe this chart. And okay, this is something about how do you arrange your time. So I will give them some hints. For example, make sure you properly quote the chart. Okay, this is something I tell them. You have to know how to quote the chart, clearly and completely describe the chart, and follow the structure, introduction, body, and conclusion, and also use transitional words. Okay, that's another, okay. And they have to do that within 30 minutes. Okay, so quotation, for example, on textbook page 89, question number 9, in the chart, you can see that something blah, blah, blah. So that's the description. And then also I asked them to write some, how do they arrange their time? So they can write something about themselves. Okay, so there are some transitional words. So for example, so, after class, after all that. Okay, of course, there are some grammatical errors here. And for the last one, that would be the most difficult for students, the compare and contrasts. So I found one definition from online resources. Okay, so I'll give, okay, students have to read the definition carefully. So I will tell them, okay, what does that mean, compare and contrast? Okay, I will give them a very clear definition of the 2 terms. And also the structure, so how to write a compare and contrast essay. For example, you can use the block one or a point about point, you can choose either one. So that's okay. So I found an essay online, and it's talk about the work-life balance. Okay, so it's more like a student, how they manage their life. So they have to read this essay first. So it's quite short. It's not very long, about 2 pages. I'm sorry, 1 page. Okay, so it's about this. So they have to read this first. Okay, so they can understand what is work-life integration or what is work-life balance. Okay, they have to know this. And also, students, they have to read the chart. Okay, they have to read some essay. Not a short essay, it's more like a long essay. And also they have to read the graphs here. So I will give them some information. For example, 30% said morning managing their work life and personal responsibility has become more difficult in the past 5 years. So they have to read the graphs, okay? And then what is most important and most difficult part is they have to write compare and contrast. So this time I will give them more detailed instructions. For example, they have to write the 3 paragraphs. First, summarize the chart. So what does that mean? So that's the chart. Okay. There are 4 numbers, and what do they mean? Okay. So this is the first one, summarize the chart. And also they have to write the differences, 2 differences in the essay. So they have to go back to and read the essay again. And that's the work-life balance. What does that mean, work-life balance? And what does that mean, work-life integration? So they have to carefully read the 2 paragraphs and then write the differences in the essay. And also the last one will be their opinions. Also, I will tell them use the transitional words for summary and then compare and contrast. And also there is one thing important, paraphrase the words. You know, whenever students, they can read something, they will just copy and paste the words from the original essay, and that's not okay, I'll tell them. So they have to paraphrase the words. Don't copy and paste the original words, something I told them. Okay, so for example, students, again, they have to write this within 30 minutes. And so the first part is summarize the chart. And this is students quite good. And according to the chart, 1/3 of the millennials say that manage their life between work, family, and responsibilities has been harder in the past 5 years. Obviously, it's a copy and paste from the description. And I always have, okay, this is not good, but at least he knows how to write the structure. Okay, so this is the summary of the chart. And also the 2 differences. Okay, work-life balance compared with the work-life integration is more likely to separate time between work and life. Okay, so of course there are some grammatical errors, and this is about the differences. And also the last part is about their opinion. And when they're after read the essay or double check the charts, and they have to write their opinions. And for the writing tasks, I will, for the next week, usually I will just collect the students writing samples and do more like the peer review in the whole class, so students can read all the students writing, and also they can understand how to prove, not just write and then forget and then do new writing tasks. Okay, so this is my part, and we're going to have the second part.
Center of NTUST, but as the phrase says, last but not the least. All right, so I hope that this presentation of me of 10 minutes will be beneficial to you. This is called outcome-based writing task. But I think for any teacher that wants to plan their lessons, they must know who they are teaching. All right, and so for me, this lesson plan actually is for the 2nd semester of this class. That's freshman English class of Global Communication in English. So basically, this, as you have heard, that this is the most advanced module. So basically, the students in this class they're already good at listening and speaking, and they have reached the B2 level. And because this is 2nd semester, so I did not start from scratch. It means that in the 1st semester, they have already familiar with paragraph writing, essay writing skills. Yeah, and for this course specifically, they are based on my observation, they have very good oral fluency. Yeah, so I have all these things in the back of my mind when I'm planning the course. Yeah, and I think the course objectives, of course, is under the 2030 bilingual policy framework. Yeah, our goal is to help the students or encourage them to achieve B2 level in both speaking and writing skills, the output skills. And also I add another condition is especially in an educational context, but because before they graduate, they will have to survive in gradually EMI learning environment. Yeah, so I think I have these 2 goals in my mind. One is the first language goals, and the other it would be a set of EMI skills they would need. Yeah, to take those courses. Yeah, so lesson objectives. So basically, I want the students to learn how they can exactly achieve so-called B2 level with their speaking and writing skills. So I want them to understand it first. And then I want them to be able to become autonomous learner, which means that they will be able to use the descriptions of descriptors of that level or the rubrics provided by what I'm going to tell you is that I use Bestep as the assessment tool. So I want them to apply the rubrics to guide them through the process of writing. And then the last step is then, because I also want them to be a lifelong learner, right? I think that is a very noble goal. So I want them to continue to use the rubrics to evaluate, improve their writing, even outside of the class or at the end of the class. All right, so some features of my lesson plan. Yeah, so I think I have designed it these are my beliefs and my principles. So there are a series of pre-writing and post-writing activities. So first is outcome-based and performance-oriented. I have this very clear in my mind. So I have clear expectations of them and they know it. So starting from there, then I have a backward design in my lesson plan, because then I would know how to do scaffolding. So these two are connected concepts. And then I also believe in speaking and writing integrated learning, because I think if you are in the communicative approach, then you would know that speaking and writing, they are probably not to be separated. And also, because this class, they have very good English proficiency level in orally. So I believe that I should take advantage of that. I think they are more confident in speaking than in writing in my class. So that is why I believe that from speaking to writing is a better approach for this class. And also then there will be a lot of student-student interaction, because I do believe that this will create a more lively class environment for them. And it's less teacher-fronted and more student-centered. And the last three concepts are also interlinked, because as you know that you have found out that I take a more cognitive approach, because they are already advanced language users or learners. So they don't really, so I think that they should develop they should actually apply or use their higher order thinking skills, such as synthesize, evaluate, and also apply, right? Yeah, and then so also I encourage autonomous learning, and also they understand the rubrics, so they will be able to get rubric-based feedback from the TAs or from me, and then they will also be able to use the rubrics later on for self-correction. So this would be the concepts of my course design or lesson plan behind the rationale behind my lesson plan. And the first is that what materials and resources are there for me for this lesson, because the textbook we use for this class is not too much about writing. It's more about speaking and communication, oral skills. So that is why I have a separate lesson plan for the writing skills or the writing component. So a lot of thanks to LTDC. Again, this is not a sponsored kind of product placement, but this really comes very helpful. So if you haven't checked it out, go to the website of Bestep, and you can download this for free. This is really good news for all the teachers. And also they provide sample writings at B1 level and C1 level. And I use those samples. So then later I will explain how I use them. And also there is another book that have the excellent award-winning essay booklet. But this one I think is still not free. It's not free to download. So maybe the LTC can have some kind of a lucky draw something, and some audience members can get it for free. And the last one, I want to use this chance to give a special shout out to Xie Minghui 老师. She's also a teacher at our language center at NQST. She dedicated her time to make 6 speaking and writing prompts for Bestep, because the free resources on the internet, somehow they're very helpful, but if we want to have our students do more practices, these are still not enough. So teachers, they just have to do more in a way. And only 3 minutes left. So I'm aware of that. So I have a snapshot of the procedure. So basically there are 7 steps, and I also have 7 corresponding slides, but I don't think I have time to go through them. So I will just use this slide to go through each step and point out some important considerations in each step. So first I will introduce the rubrics to the students. So maybe I'll jump to look at, basically this is the rubric from the Bestep website. And I assume all the students, because they are already advanced users, so I currently feel that already most of them are at level 3, but I believe that I have to elevate their writing skills to 4 or 5, and these will be our goals. All right, so I will introduce the Bestep rubrics to them. And the next part, and I will do a teacher demonstration. Then because I have sample writings from the website, so I will apply the rubrics or the descriptors from the rubrics and to analyze the text and point them out which are the moves and the transitional phrases and the structure. And ask them to look at it, and I will demonstrate how to analyze it. And the next step is then I will ask the students to then to look at other writing samples. This is the writing samples, and then this will be pair work. I will ask them to compare and contrast which writing is better than the other. And also, if they still have time, they will have to highlight and circle the keywords, the key phrases, and the structures, topic sentences, and conclusion, and where they are making compare and contrast. All right, so this would be what the students will have to do. And the next step is practice through discussion and speaking. So next, and again, I will give them the question, the prompt. All right, the prompt, and the students, they will have to pair and discuss and share. Because I think this writing is a very lonely activity. So if they can actually speak to each other and have some discussion before the writing, it actually lowers their anxiety. So I think this step is important because this group of students, as I said, they are more confident in speaking than writing. So I do think this will be very helpful for them to get prepared for the real thing. And the next step is, of course, I have them write in class. And luckily, I do have TA because of the budget from the 2030 BEST project from the MOE. So I do have TAs, and I have to train the TAs first, again, going through the same process. Now they have to know how to use the rubrics to give feedback to the students. And then the students, then they become autonomous learners. So they will have to go and find a TA to schedule time for the 20-minute one-on-one writing consultation with the TA. And the last period then will be the last phase. Again, to wrap up the lesson will be consolidation. So the students, after their meetings with the TA, they will come back, and then we will write another piece in class, and that will be part of the course, the score, because that is the final exam. And then after that, then they will attend the real Bestep test. All right, and that will, when we get the official scores, and then that would be the scores for our assessment of student learning outcomes, and also of the course, and also of the English curriculum as a whole. All right, I think I managed it, perfectly on time. So I will pass the mic to Ellie. Thank you.
Thank you.